Greetings, my fellow decrepits, invalids, and other sick people. I hope you're doing well today and that you're fighting the good fight. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about rest and how we can incorporate more restful habits into our daily life. I put together a list of 10 different methods we can use to do that. But before we get into those, if you enjoy the content we make on this channel, please consider giving a smack to that like button, a ring-a-ding-ding to that notification bell, and maybe consider subscribing and sharing this content with your friends. So let's get into the video. So before we kick off the list, I want to briefly talk about rest as a concept in general. This has been on my heart a lot recently. I have been pushing myself probably a little bit too hard with my chronic fatigue, and the biggest thing that I'm supposed to be working on is pacing myself and getting in true rest. So there's lots of different ways we can do that, but rest is very important to give our bodies a chance to heal. And I think in our modern lifestyles, we do a horrible job of allowing our bodies time to rest and recover. You know, for any athlete, you know that if you go out and you work out super hard or you play a really tough game, the proper thing to do would be when you're done to have a routine of how to help your body recover so you can get back into the gym or back into your next game as quickly as possible. The same thing applies to everyone else in society, regardless of whether or not you consider yourself an athlete. There's a reality that the stresses of work, of taking care of a family, of going to the grocery store, of just keeping up on house chores, all these things take energy. They zap our bodies of the energy and the resources that we have, and it's our job to give our body the time to rest and recuperate so we can continue doing the things we need to do. So I'm making this video for you, but also for me, because I've been doing a mediocre job recently of resting. So this is a reminder to myself as well to try and incorporate a few of these things to help my body heal and hopefully to help your body heal. All right, so number one is probably the most common method that people run to when they are tired and stressed, and that would be getting a massage. Massage is a great way to decompress, to literally give your muscles a chance to decompress and get a lot of that tension worked out and loosened up. There's so much about getting our bodies tightened up and stressed that is horrible on our recovery, and massage is a great method to help your bodies rest. So number two is great if you feel like you can't afford a massage, which is me, because stretching is number two, and there's some science out there that actually suggests that stretching is nearly as beneficial as a massage, and in some cases, certain doctors actually think that it could be more beneficial. There's something about that time of a prolonged stretch that really allows your muscles a chance to loosen up. It promotes good circulation. It promotes better sleep. There's lots of benefits to stretching, and it is a great and easy way that we can rest at home for free. Number three is turning off our phone and social media. This is a hard one, and it's been especially hard for me this year. I've been at home a lot. I'm not working very much at all, and the work I am doing is a lot of it's on my phone and on my laptop, and there's, you know, now with this YouTube channel, I'm using social media a lot more. And so all those things are good and we need to use them in the modern world, but there is a ton of studies out there, especially when it comes to things like sleep, that reducing our screen time, our social media time, is very beneficial to our health. A lot of people say that you need to turn off all devices an hour before bed and that will help you sleep significantly better. When I do it consistently, I do feel that it helps my sleep. The hard thing is doing it consistently. But that's an super easy option in theory for us to do, is just to take some time out of the day and set aside our devices. All right, number four is meditation. This is something that I didn't really consider for a very long time. I always kind of stayed away from the stuff that was like become one with the universe and connect with your inner self. I personally am not a fan of that, but if that's your cup of tea, go for it. But meditation has a ton of health benefits. I've started doing it a lot of nights at bedtime, and that really kind of helps me calm down, especially calm down my mind before I hop in bed. I'm one of those people that I hop in bed and I feel like my brain instantly kicks into gear and it's thinking about all the things I need to do or what I have to do tomorrow. And that tends to be when unfortunately, my most creative thoughts come into my head. But meditation is something that has really helped me lower my excitement levels before bed. And there's a ton of studies talking about how it can lower your stress response so that your body doesn't respond in such a fight or flight mechanic when things go bad. And over the course of time, it can really have a positive impact on your blood pressure as well, which is always a plus. All right, number 5 is alone time, which I'm learning as a parent is very hard to come by. I absolutely love hanging out with my kids. Right now, I am the stay-at-home parent in our household because of my health, but I have a ton of fun with the kids. But there comes a point in the evening after a long day where I'm like, okay, I'm ready for some quiet time. And I get a little bit of it every night for about maybe 45 minutes. But if you're in a situation where you can create alone time for yourself, whether it's getting outside for a walk or sitting on your deck or just having a cup of tea before bed with some silence, it's super good for us. I think that in our modern lives, we are so stimulated. There's always stuff going on. I catch myself, listening to an audiobook and doing dishes and trying to talk to my kids all at the same time. And that clearly is not good for us. It's way too much stimulation. And I think that we need to have those alone moments of just sitting there in the quiet. All right, number 6 is the concept of journaling. Believe it or not, there's actually some science out there that talks about the health benefits of journaling. For example, Dr. David Hanscom, the author of the book Back in Control, he's a back surgeon, but he spent many years witnessing his patients after having their operation on their back to help their back pain. They would come back a year or two later, still reporting having back pain, in some cases worse than it was before. So he went on this long journey of trying to figure out other alternatives to helping people with their back pain. And turns out the big thing he promotes now is journaling. He actually now, before he does back surgery, he has his patients conduct about a month or so, I think, of journaling every single day. Write down whatever you feel, however angry you are, whatever stress is, whatever's on your mind, and then rip it up or burn it at the end of it. And he's actually been seeing a lot of positive results from having his patients start journaling, and they have taken the journaling concept and it's improved their health to the point where they don't want back surgery anymore. So very good tool for all kinds of reasons, very good for rest, a good way to vent and get things off of our chest. So maybe consider trying that. Number 7 is taking a bath. That could be warm or cold. I tend to find the warm bath obviously much more comfortable. You throw in some Epsom salts, and that's really good on the muscles too. But I will say there's a ton of science coming out recently about the benefits of cold water. It's something I've been trying to incorporate on and off for about a year. I need to keep working on it. I think I want to make a video on cold water by itself at some point, because there's so much coming out about that. But taking a bath is a great way just to unwind and give your body some recovery time. Number 8 is deep breathing. And if you're at all like me, then you might need to work on your breathing because I'm a very shallow breather naturally, and I've been trying to work on it for a long time. But there's a lot of benefits to deep breathing. The one I've been trying to do a lot the last little while is box breathing. Now, box breathing is essentially you breathe in for 4 seconds, you hold your breath for 4 seconds, you exhale for 4 seconds, then you hold your breath for 4 seconds. There's a lot of science coming out about box breathing in particular and the benefits, but really any kind of deep breathing exercise that you might find online would be perfect. The idea really is that when you inhale and then you exhale, on that exhalation, there's a lot of things going on, but the biggest things are it's slowing down your heart rate, it helps calm the nervous system, and it helps fight that fight or flight response. That if your body is like stressing about things, the longer your exhalation is, the more it helps your body recognize that you're not in danger. Because that quick and rapid shallow breathing is what our body does when we're trying to survive. But so many of us breathe like that on a daily basis all day long, myself included. And so we need to train ourselves to deep breathe. And this is something you can do absolutely anywhere, in the car, in a meeting, watching TV. Very applicable to daily life. So maybe give it a try. Number 9 is spending time in nature and or earthing. So there's a lot of studies coming out recently. The one I'm thinking of in particular, there's a documentary called Limitless featuring Chris Hemsworth. But they talked about how our bodies, when we get out in nature, a lot of our stress levels and our body's just functions, they tend to normalize when we spend time in nature. And there's also a lot of science as well on the idea of earthing. This is something I'm just recently exploring, about how there's an electromagnetic field in the earth that it helps calm down our bodies, and there's a lot of healing properties to it simply by standing on the earth. So if you're feeling stressed or tired today, maybe get outside, maybe take your shoes and socks off and put your feet in the dirt and see if that helps. And number 10 is praying or just having quiet time in general. For myself, as a Christian, prayer is something that can be very relaxing and very restful. It's the time of giving up my problems to God. But even if you're not a believer, I think that having quiet time in general is very good to our health. And again, this kind of goes back to the alone time thing in a way, but being more intentional about the quiet time, about no noise, no distractions, just time just to sit and reflect is very beneficial and something we don't do enough. So my little bonus technique for resting is the concept my doctor gave me called true rest. And that is simply turning off all the lights, making sure there's no noise, putting on some noise-canceling headphones and a sleep mask, and spending 10 to 15 minutes just sitting in the silence and reducing all stimulation as much as possible. Something I've been trying to incorporate into my life daily. I do enjoy doing it. It is just hard to find the time, especially with kids, to get complete silence. But there's a lot of studies on it, and it's been really helpful to me so far. So give that a shot. All right, in my last little segment for the Healthy Christian, I'm just going to simply, really quick, read a verse out of Genesis chapter 2. In Genesis chapter 2, verses 2 through 3, it says, "And on the seventh day God ended his work which he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had done. Then God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because in it he rested from all his work which God had created and made." So, in the very beginning of the Bible, in the very beginning of creation, God set forth this standard of 6 days of working and 1 day of rest. Now, we in the modern world do not incorporate a day of rest into our lives, really at all. But right there in the scriptures from chapter 2 of the Bible, God is making it very clear that you need to rest. And there are so many commands throughout the Bible to keep the Sabbath. And I think there's all kinds of reasons. Obviously, there are spiritual reasons. There's the simple reason that God commanded us to, but I think there's also health reasons. That God knows that if we live on this fast-paced, 24/7, go lifestyle, it is a huge detriment to our health. And so if you are feeling tired, exhausted, and you need rest, maybe consider trying to incorporate some kind of rest day, some kind of Sabbath into your routine, and see if that helps. All right, my friends, if you stuck around to the end of the video, I just want to say thank you so much for your time. I hope that you got at least 1 or 2 different ideas on how you can incorporate a little bit more rest into your daily and weekly routines. If you have any other ideas on how I could be resting, or the community of Fitness with an Ellis could be resting, consider commenting below and sharing your ideas as well. And again, my friends, thank you so much for your time. I hope that you're having a good day. I hope that you continue to fight the good fight. And we will see you next time. God bless. Take care of yourself.